Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EasyCast. I'm your host, Brian Gregoire.
Co-host Zeke Wagar.
And this is a beverage that I highly recommend. Diet, caffeine-free Coke. Subtract two of the elements that I don't want in soda. I don't want caffeine, and I don't want calories.
It's a question. If you don't want either one of those things, why in the world are you drinking soda?
Because I really appreciate the taste. It's
There
bursting
is
with
no
flavor.
taste.
I love the Coke taste, but it also doesn't leave that same residue on my teeth. Like, my teeth feel chalky after I have Pepsi.
You're drinking soda!
And this feels perfectly fine. I feel like I just brushed my teeth.
Oh my god.
It feels amazing.
Some things in this world, people, you can't explain to some people.
So we have a very intriguing debate to shift to here. Now, let me start this off with an analogy. Let's specify, if I procrastinated on a project in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was assigned it 2 weeks ago on a Monday, and on a Friday I'm trying to finish it, and I go to print it out, and the printer's broken.
Mm-hmm.
I started it on the Thursday, and I'm going to print it on the Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my fault for procrastinating the project out to that time. It's not the printer's fault for failing the project on me.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the same theory applies to NFL games. Whereas, if you have a lead and you manage to blow it, you lose that lead, that's on you. Officials cannot dictate a game. They cannot determine the outcome of a game. You have control of your destiny and your situation at all times. So, let's shift to this past weekend with the Fiesta Bowl between Clemson and Ohio State.
Oh, boy.
Which I won, by the way. And I'm actually pretty satisfied with myself that I won, because you dominated me. And I'll give you credit. You dominated me throughout this year. Ohio State was off to a pivotal 16-point lead to start the game. That was critical. However, they managed to lose that lead by play calling and by coaching and execution in the red zone that they failed to do. There are calls that I did not agree with in that game. I think that one fumble was a touchdown. But that single call cannot dictate an entire game. A plot for a football game is very involved. It's 4 quarters. It's 60 minutes. One play is not going to determine it. Ohio State could have taken a 23-point lead, which could have probably secured the win for them, but they didn't, and Clemson won. The same applies for the Saints-Rams NFC Championship game last year. That was by far the worst call I've ever seen in my entire life. However, the Saints lost a 13-point lead. They were in control, and they even had the ball to start overtime. But they blew it.
Okay, listen. When it comes down to the refs, I personally have never been that guy that says, oh, the refs. No. I get it. There is a point where you gotta put the line. But at the same time, and yes, for example, the Ohio State game, they could have executed better in the red zone. That's a fact. I understand that. But at the same time, when you look at a call like that, where momentum could be swung, because it was going Clemson's way for a while, and that play happened, and that momentum would have been a huge swing. I'm not saying it would have determined the game, but that's an awful call in a big game.
It was a very bad call.
Okay? I'm not going to go to that targeting call, because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. So, Trevor Lawrence is just a little crybaby. Whatever. He'll get over it. I don't think that game was manageable. As far as the Saints go now, that was just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want about how the refs don't determine the game, but when you look at one call, now mind you, that call, it's different as a call. If we're talking something like 7 minutes left in the second quarter, that's one thing. But if you're talking about a call at the end of the game that ultimately wins the Saints that game, that is a completely different factor there. It's complete. Yeah, they could have done this. Yeah, they could have done that. That was the game right there.
But if they were still up by 13 points, that call would have had no impact on the game. The Saints have already secured
But we're
the
talking
win.
about the NFC Championship. The refs should be on point regardless. That game, like that call, wins the Saints that game. It doesn't. It shouldn't happen. Calls should be called right. That's what the refs get paid to do. Are they going to get every call? No. But a blatant one like that in that big of a game, It's just not acceptable. I don't care about leads. I don't care about none of that. It's not acceptable. And something needs to change.
Oh, it's absolutely unacceptable, but I will continue to argue that the Saints had control over that game. And it spiraled out of their control.
They got screwed either way. It's a game-winning call. It's a game-winning call. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they were up by 13, down by 13. Either way, we're talking about right there and then. And they got screwed.
The one call, but that one call will not decide the game. It doesn't.
So,
There
so
are plenty of things you could have done before to prevent from getting into that position.
So if you're telling me this right now, say that call, right? Say that call is made.
Yeah.
You're telling me right now the Saints don't win that game?
I'm saying that if the Saints managed and executed their game plan better
That's
before
not what I'm asking.
No, it does matter.
That's not what I'm asking.
It does matter.
It does. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. That's not what I asked. What I asked was, if that is called, what happens?
So the call happened. The Saints got the ball to start overtime. So they were in a position to win again.
That's not what I'm asking. If that call gets made, and the Saints get the call, it goes the Saints' way, what happens?
The Saints do win, but they were in another position to win.
That's all I'm saying.
But the Saints had control. The refs do not control it.
That's all I'm saying.